Salesforce record types. Now, what is the purpose of having these record types? Now, why should we create a record types? And when should we create it? Especially the when should we creating the record types? So usually the record types are to control the page layout. Let's assume that you have a different information you wanted to capture. Form is the flow is you wanted to capture the, assume that we are capturing the some government information. Let's assume that we are capturing the government information. When I say government information, usually the government wants to know the people like a personal information and how long they are staying into that particular house, and do they have a PAN card or do they have a Aadhaar card, right? If it is a US, do they have a SSN number? So these all information, and the driving license, any one of the person driving license, these are the information usually captured. Whatever the, like whether it is a India government or US government, these are the different things they are going to capture. But here I have a three different information here: PAN card, Aadhaar card, and SSN. Right? So if it is a PAN card information, then by using the PAN card information, I wanted to capture the, let's say, if the person says, no, I have a PAN card, I do not have a Aadhaar card, then I wanted to capture the personal information stay, and then where this employee is working on it, and what is the permanent address. So these are the information I wanted to capture. Similarly, Aadhaar card. So when the person says like, I have a Aadhaar card also, PAN card, I'm not able to find the PAN card. So when the person says Aadhaar card, so person seems like it's not working, or maybe they are different. Like when we say Aadhaar card, most probably we wanted to capture the permanent address. And if they are staying in the temporary address, we wanted to capture the temporary address information. And these two are the related to the India, right? Now let's say SSN. When we say SSN, they wanted to know, do they have is there a visa holders, or maybe they are like do they have a complete green card? So do they have a green card or not, like a visa holders, like how long they are staying into the residency, everything they wanted to check. And what is the employment, and their family details. So these are the details that we wanted to capture. Now, if I say driving license, similarly, do they have an active visa holder? Active visa, and do they have is it a learning license or is it a permanent license? Right? And how long they are holding it? And what is the expiry date? So these are a couple of information I wanted to capture. But these all data is going into the one object, which is called as a government object. Let's say government object. Object is a government object. So when we have a capturing information is a different based on the type of information. Like if I'm talking to the employment, so employment will have a different details. Like sometimes they will also ask the insurance details. Or do they have a family insurance? Right, so they will ask the insurance details also. So these all are based on the what type of a information they are providing it. That means object is the same, but page has to be modified. If they say person says that, okay, I have a PAN card number, then the page should be displayed differently and the data needs to be captured different information. If the person says I have a Aadhaar card, and then the page should be different and person details should be captured differently compared to PAN card. If the person says I have a SSN number or a driving license, then in that case, the complete information is a different compared to PAN card and Aadhaar card. This is completely different. The page is different, but all of them are sitting into the same object. All of them are sitting into the same object. But based on the information, the page is getting changed. Now, if I show you the simple example, now if you go to the any bank account, like if you go to ICICI Bank or any other bank, let's go for a ICICI Bank. When you go for a ICICI Bank, open this ICICI Bank. Now, here, if you observe, the login is a different. Now, if you say here personal and personal, I have opened the ICICI Bank for the personal. If you click on a login, it will take you to the one page. Like it will ask you some kind of a username and password. It will ask you user ID or a registered mobile. This is the screen it will take you. But if the person says that I'm an NRI, I am NRI or else I'm corporate. So I'm corporate banking or NRI banking. Like in that case, like if I say NRI banking and if I click on a login button, so what will happen? The login screen will be little bit different, right? So here we have a NRI. So if I click on this NRI, so if I say corporate, so corporate will be the different. So this is the corporate one. So if I say corporate banking and click on the login, now it will be a different. So for the personal, this is the screen. If it is a corporate banking, this is the screen, right? So corporate banking is nothing but if you are working in a company and company is going to uh, say like it is a salary based, or if you want to have a different kind of a bank account, then this is a corporate banking account. So it has a different information like a login ID, password, and dashboard and proceed like that information you have. Like if you say personal, like a personal will have a user ID or a registered mobile and click on this icon. So it will take you to the that particular icon. Now this is based on the person, the screen gets changed, the pages gets changed, and the data capturing the data is also changed. Now if you want to implement this kind of a scenario inside the Salesforce, the best way to go for it is record types. So by using the record types, we can control the page layout and pick list values. I can control what are the pages should be displayed for the different type of information and which pick list should I need to show. Like for example, I have a pick list field. Now in the pick list field, I have a 10 values. Now, one record type, for example, I'm creating a 3 record types. Assume that on the account, I'm creating a 3 record types. Let's assume individual account like a let's say online customer, offline customer, online customer and offline customer. So if it is an online customer, I'll show the different page. If it is an offline customer, I'll show the different page. Now, out of this 10 values, 10 pick list values, only 5 values I wanted to show it in the online. So, and rest of the 5, I need to show it to the offline. So these are the pick list values. I'm not changing the field, I'm changing the values. What are the values should be displayed for the online? What are the values should be displayed for the offline customers? So this is how we can differentiate. So by using the record type, I can create, like I can control, like a developer can control the page layout as well as the pick list values. Now record types are used to provide the different page layouts to different users with a different set of fields, with a different pick list values for the different business need. Like as we have discussed, like another example, we have a vehicle details. We have vehicle details. When we have a vehicle details, now vehicle is the object, which is a custom object. In this vehicle, there are different type of vehicles will be there. Two-wheeler vehicle, four-wheeler vehicle. If it is a two-wheeler vehicle, you wanted to capture the information which are related to the two-wheeler. If it is a four-wheeler, you wanted to capture the four-wheeler information, like a steering. Steering is the something different from the two-wheeler, and we have some engine items will be different for the four-wheeler. So those are different things will be there. Clutch, brake, all those things will be it here in the four-wheeler. It has a different accessories are available for the four-wheelers. For two-wheeler, different accessories I need to capture. So for that, for this scenario, what I can do is I can create a record type, two record types. One record type, if like before creating the vehicle, user has to choose it, or else internal team has to choose it. What is the record type? Am I going to create a two-wheeler data, or I'm going to create a four-wheeler data? So if I say two-wheeler, this page should be displayed. If I say four-wheeler, this page should be displayed. So that's how we can control it using the record types. Now, record types are also called as a business type or a business records. Business types or a business records. Now, let's say here record types can be created for the standard object as well as the custom object. There is no restriction on this. You can create it record types for the standard as well as the custom. Now let's say account. Account types, different people will be there, like a customer account, partner account. These are the different accounts are there. Like opportunity types from the different revenue stream, online, retail. Campaign will have a different trade show, website, like these are the different options are available. Let's say I'm going to create an online and a retail on the opportunity. So let's create a record type. So before creating the record type, few observations, like whenever we create a record type, immediately there is a one column or a one field gets added to the object, which is called as a record type ID. As soon as I create a record type, there is a new field that gets added into the object, and the field name is record type ID. And whenever we are creating the record, it is always from the first thing is that record type it is going to ask. First select the record type, then only it will allow you to create a record. Now let's go ahead and see that. Let's say I'm going to create it on the opportunity. The opportunity. So right now what is happening, if I click on a new button, it is directly opening up the new record. Let's say I'm going to create a new opportunity. Now before creating on the opportunity, let's do it on the account. Now I'll tell you what is the reason. First account. Now let's create it on the account. Now I'm going to click on this new button. When I click on the new button, it is by default opening the new record. Now here, let's assume that I'm going to click on edit object. Click on this edit object. Now in this object, it will directly take you to the account. Just click on this. Here we have an option which is called as a record types. Now let's click on the new button. Click on the new button. Now it will ask you the existing record type. Right? Do you want to copy the existing record types or not? Right now we don't have any record type, so by default it will take the master. Let's say I'm going to create a online customers, and then description. Click on save. Click on the next button. While creating the record type, it will ask you that which page layout do you want to apply. Now I have these many page layouts. These many page layouts I have. Now, for example, you need a complete different page layout. You need complete different page layout you wanted. So in that case, the prerequisite for the creating a record type is the first thing we need to make sure that we have a proper page layouts. Proper page layout. If I'm creating the two record types, for these two record types, what are the page layouts that we are going to assign it? So we need to have a clarity on the page layout. So that is one of the prerequisite. So let's create a new page layout here. Let's say this is online account page layout. I'm going to take an existing one, which is similar to the account. Online account page layout. Click on and save. Now here, let's say that instead of showing all this information, I'll remove the account hierarchy, annual revenue. Let's say I'll remove the shipping address and SIC, ticket symbol, website. We are going to remove the website fax number and account site. SLA expiration, SLA, all the SLA information. I'm going to remove it on the online. Now click on save. This is online. Similarly, I'm going to create a new one which is called as a offline. Let's say copy of the existing one, which is the account. This is offline. Offline account page layout. Click on save. Here we are going to say, let's say for offline, I just need a shipping address. I do not need this. I'll place a shipping address here. And let's assume that that's all information. I'll keep it as it is. If you want, you can place a billing address also. That should be totally fine. Now click on the save. So right now I have a two-page layout. One is for online, another one is offline. That is the first prerequisite for the creating a record type. And second prerequisite is all the fields. What are the fields I needed on the account level? Make sure we have created all the fields here. All the fields we have created in this. Now let's create a record type. Now let's go ahead and create a new record type. Now, default I do not have. Let's say online customers. On next, now it is going to ask which page layout do you want to go for it. So before it was having a account marketing layout. So now I'm applying the online. So as soon as I change it here, page layout, immediately all the profile, for all the profiles, the same page layout is gets applied. Let's say you wanted to have a different. Let's say sales team should have a account layout. And this person is also, this profile also should have an account layout, and this also should have an account layout. If you want to choose it, each profile, what is the page layout you want, you can choose the page layout. Now click on the save. Now we have created the record type, which is called as a online customer. Now similarly, let's go ahead and create another one. Whatever the first one is created, by default it is a active. Right here it is active, it will make it as a default one is the online customer. Whatever the first record type is there, that is a default record type. Now click on here, new. I'm going to create another record type which is called offline. I'm creating the offline customer. Now if you want to choose any existing one, you can choose it, but you can keep it by default master also. Now make it available for the all the one. Now which are the one first time we have created, by default, it will make it as a default. The second one, it does not make it as a default, but you can choose it which record type do you want a default. Default in a sense, if in case user is not selected the record type. Assume that we are loading the data from the external system to the Salesforce. We did not specify the record type. When we did not specify the record type, what is the default value? Or else I have already records are available on the account. I have already records are available account. Right? Assuming some 50 plus records are there. Now, if I'm creating the right now record type, right now I'm creating the record type. Now, if you want all of this existing one, how should it will be applied? Now let's see that. But the first one should be default is the first one is always the default one. If you want to make a changes to the default record type, you can make a changes to that. Now here it is a offline customer. I'm choosing the page layout, offline account page layout, and click on it, save. Record types online and offline. Now open the online. In the online, now page layout, we are controlling it. Let's assume that I wanted to control the pick list field values also. Let's say industry. Industry is the pick list. For online customer, I do not want to have a agriculture or a, let's say, electronics, finance, or a insurance, manufacturing. So these we do not want to have it. Let's assume that these are the fields we do not want to have it on the online customers. So it should show only the one which is available. Here maximum I'll select a 5 fields. Of this shift. Right, so I'm just showing the banking, chemical, communication, government, healthcare, transportation. These are for the online customers. Now click on save. Now similarly for the offline customers, I'll go to the offline customers. For offline customers, click on these offline customers and click on the edit button on the industry pick list field. Now here I'm going to choose the agriculture, biotechnology, construction, education, food and beverages, and let's move all these things. So this is for the offline customers. Only these values I'm showing on the offline customers. Click on save. We are done with creating the record types. Now go to the account. Now let's refresh the page. Now click on the new button. Asking the first record type. Now you choose the record type. Now let's say here online customer. Click on this online customer. Now let's say here I'm entering the different information. Let's say Wipro and rating. We have all the values and industry. Industry, it is showing only these information like a banking, chemical, healthcare. These are the information it is showing you. Let's say Wipro is communication and then click on save. On this save. It should be only number. Now this is we have created with the record type. Now whenever we create a record type, there is a field that is gets added there, right? So let's go to the page layout. Now what is the page layout? We have assigned it for the online customers. Now let's go to the page layout. Now offline page layout. We are going to add a record type. There is a one field which is created, record type. As soon as the record types are created, account record type. So there is a field that is added here, account record type. Just place it and let's say quick save. Similarly, I'm going to update it for the online. So just select it from here, online. It will be redirected and then I'm going to choose the record type, account record type. Place it here, account record type, quick save. Just refresh. On the detail section. Now this is account record type is online. We have it. Online is the record type. Now this is for creating a new records. What happens to the existing records? What happens to the existing records? For example, I have a Salesforce record is there. Now for this, what is the record type? By default, it does not have any record type. By default, it does not have any record type. Now, if you want to assign the record type, what you will do? If you want to assign the record type, click on here arrow mark. There is an option here, change record type. Click on this change record type, which are the record type you wanted to choose it, you choose it. So as soon as you choose the record type, immediately it will ask you to enter new details related to the page layout. Right, so we have a page layout. In the page layout, based on the page layout, it is going to ask certain information here. Certain information it is going to ask, click on it, save. So it will not harm for the existing records, but by default, it will not be assigned to the any page, any record type. By default, it does not apply to the any record type. Now you have to manually assign the record type to the existing records. Now if you want to change this, click on this, either this or change record type icon here, or else you can click on this change record type. So let's say if you're clicking on this icon, now it will online to offline, I'm changing it. Whenever I change online to offline, the complete page will be displayed. It is going to update the complete page. Now here, this is the page which is available. If I click on the next button, it will be redirected to the new page. The page that is assigned, the page that is assigned the new information, it is going to show you the details. Now click on save. Now right now the page gets updated. Now here, see here, these are the information it is showing on the offline. These are the offline details, where we have a billing and shipping address. If I change this to the online, click on the next button and save it. It will immediately change. The page gets updated and you will be able to see only the one which is called as a billing address. So your page is also gets updated whenever you choose it. So using the record types, we can capture the different information for the different page. Also, it includes the different values. So it will allow the user to access only the records that are relevant for their jobs. This is the main purpose of record types. Now, let's say some scenario, like let's say, when should I need not to use a record type? Right? So when I should not be using the record type. So let's say before knowing that, let's say if you want to create a record type, like as we have discussed, we have to first cross verify the fields, whether do we have all the fields or not. And then you need to check the page layout, whether do we have all the page layouts or not. These two are proper, then go ahead and create a record types. Now for creating the record types, you go to the object manager and create it. This is we have already seen. Now record type use case. Now we have already created the record type. Now let's say when should I not to use a record type? What is the reason when should I need not to be using the record types? There might be an interview question that they will ask in which scenario you will not create a record types. So let's say for example, now whenever you have a information, collecting the information is same. You have a different type of people, online customer, offline customer, both are there. But for online customers and offline customer, you are capturing the same type of information. There is a no change at all. And same type of a tick list field values. There is no change at all. Right? So in that scenario, I do not need to go for a record types. Because for online customer, I'm capturing the same information. For offline customers also, I'm capturing the same information. When you have the same information, you are capturing it, you do not need to go for a record types. So record types are not needed when most of the data being captured in the same for all the records, like all the customers or all the different customers, you are capturing the same information. Then you need not to go for a record types. If there is a need to differentiate between the different records, it can be done using the fields. Like if you just want a field level, few fields I do not want to show it for the online and few fields I do not want to show it for the offline, that can be handled separately. Now we have created the record type and the account. Now if you want to create a record type on the opportunity, if you want to create a record type on the opportunity, let's go to the opportunity here, click on the opportunity and let's say a record type. Now when you are clicking on the new button, it will give you the some kind of a message or a information. It says that you cannot create a new record type. The first thing that you need to set up the sales process. You need to set up the sales process. If you do not have a sales process, we will not be able to create a record types here. Now click on here to redirect it. So it will be redirected to the sales process. Just click on the new button on the sales process. Let's say this is opportunity sales process. Opportunity sales process and click on the save button. Now, once you click on the sales process, now sales process is basically but based on the stages, right? In the opportunity, we have a different stages. Now you can choose what are the stages you wanted, or if you want to modify, you can modify, or let's keep it as it is. Now, once you have the information, once the sales process record is created, now you can create a record type in the opportunity. For only the opportunity, this is the format. Press dollar directly, you can create a record types. Now, if you go to the record type, click on the new button, you will be able to create a record types on the opportunity. So for only opportunity, you need to build the sales process. Once you have the sales process, then you can implement a record types. For other objects, you can directly create a record types. Now take this use case as an assignment. Now on the position object, configure the record type. One record type is a IT position record type. Another one is non-IT position record type. For IT position record type, choose the location, Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, Mumbai. Whereas non-IT position, choose the location, Bangalore, Delhi. And status will be only available new in progress, on hold, closed for the IT position. Whereas non-IT, just show the positions which is new, in progress and closed. So these are the different pick list values for the different record types. And create a different page layout for the each one of them. One assignment. And the second assignment is create a record type on the account, like a business account, individual account, new account, business to account. So create these record types and select the pick list page, which are the one you wanted to modify it. Just create it and show the different values of the industries and create a separate page layout for the each record type. That's about the record types.